Hi, how are you? And welcome to another week of content. Remember that in this channel we talk to moms of teenagers or tweens, and we give you all the tips about taking care of their skin and their soul. And this week we have a very interesting topic. We are going to talk about how social media is affecting our teenager self-esteem and how you can use skincare to combat that, to fight against all that nasty effect that social media is having in our kids. So stay tuned and thank you for being here.
I love you.
Okay, let's start with stats, which is very important. CNN conducted a report and found out that 92% of teenagers go online. From these, 71% use a social media account, at least one, because some of them use several accounts, okay? And it is said also that tweens, we consider tweens from 8 to 10, are using about 5 hours a day navigating online, and it doesn't include the online navigation for doing homeworks or the online navigation when they are at school. But it's huge, 5 hours a day in average. And teens, which is considered from 13 to 18, are navigating about 7 hours a day online. So what is happening with this huge amount of hours navigating online and hours navigating in social media? Basically, this is creating this negative cycle of self-esteem, comparison, self-esteem, and reinforcement. Okay, I'm going to explain that. Basically, when our kids they see this perfection in the social media, they think that perfection is real and that is possible. So they are constantly comparing themselves to that image of perfection, and then they don't feel they are enough beauty, enough teen. They don't have their face, their skin is not beauty enough, so they are looking then for a positive feedback, because they lose some confidence because on this social comparison. They start looking for a positive feedback, so they start publishing online, and once they receive a like, studies have shown that those likes act like endorphins in the brain. It's like eating chocolate, for example. So this happiness hormone that creates when they receive a like, they want to repeat it again. So they keep navigating in social media because they want to receive likes, not just likes to those things they post, also likes to the comments they make, and they start spending more and more and more because they need to reinforce their confidence because they are comparing themselves all the time. So this leads to a lack of sleep, and this lack of sleep make them feel lose their energy, and make them more vulnerable when they see this this beautifulness and perfection in social media. So it all starts again, okay? It all affects their brain. It all affects their feelings, and in general, it affects their confidence. Not to mention, cyberbullying and, those like excessive use of social media can lead to, okay? But in a regular life, let's take away this cyberbullying thing. And yes, there are positive things in social media as well. It allows our kids to belong to a tribe, to talk with people they identify with, and that's awesome. However, it's not about social media itself. It's more about the usage our kids are giving, are giving to social media, the amount of hours, which is creating this kind of addiction, because the truth is that social media works like an addiction, because it creates this effect in the brain that creates this cycle of emotions that they want to repeat and repeat and repeat. So what can we do as parents to diminish the effects that social media is having in our kids? But because I think you will agree with me that it's not that easy to say, okay, let me take your phone, okay, I'm going to cut social media for 2 hours a day. There are technological tools that allow us as parents to do that, and maybe when they are kids it's easier, but when they become teens it's not that easy to enforce a specific amount of hours to navigate online or to navigate a specific site. So a better approach is for me, and is my recommendation to you, is to use different activities that create the same effect of endorphins, creating in the brain and making them feel better, and then you are creating more moments of positive emotions beyond social media. And I'm talking, for example, about physical activity. Is super important to them, for them to do physical activity. It doesn't have to be like the super complex sport. It can be just walking and while they are admire the nature. It can be just jogging for a while and that's it. But when we exercise, when we move, our body also generates these endorphins in our brain, and it's not just the time that we are investing on that and they are taking it away from social media, but also the positive reaction that they experience in their body when they perform some physical activity. The second one is breathe. I think we underestimate what breathing means because we do it so automatically, but breathing deeply creates this oxygenation of our cells in our brain, in our skin, in our body. It fights inflammation that we can get because of our sedentary lives or because of the way we eat. Breathing is so important for our health, for our mental health, and for our emotions. And the third one, which is the one that I want to focus today, is the connection between body and mind. What is happening with social media? Why social media is having so much power in our kids is because they are releasing their inner power to a third party. And this third party is social media. That makes social media bad? Not really. The truth, the reason that we need to work with them, the thing that we need to address with them is to take their power back, not giving it to a third party. And to have this power back to their inner self, it's necessary to be present. Basically, connection mind-body is being present, being present with all, taking the time to test something, taking the time to breathe, taking the time to see, taking the time to feel. That is being present. That is having the power. We don't need to be present all day. This is something that maybe advanced Buddhist practitioners can achieve, but we as regular people who have a life and have to work and have kids, and those or kids that have school and have friends, and they have so many things to do as well. But to take just few minutes a day to be there, to embrace their body, to embrace the connection between them all together. can't imagine how this is going to impact their not just their overall health, but also their skin health. And this is where skincare comes in. And here we go to the most important part of this content, and which is how to use skincare to avoid those negative effects that social media is having in our tweens or teenagers. The first thing is that you need to take care of their skin, right? Maybe we don't want them to be selfish or vanish. However, it is truth that they want to feel beauty. They want to feel, that they are attractive. That is such an important thing, for their confidence. So having their skin healthy is like a must, okay? But how to use the skincare to create this positive effect or this connection between mind and body? This is exactly what I want to talk to you right now. We tend to make all of taking care of ourselves, we tend to make it a routine. We brush our teeth. Yes, we're always in a rush. We take a shower and that's it. But what if we stop for a minute and we take this skincare time to have a self-love moment, an act of love with ourselves? And what if we teach that to our kids? And I'm going to take you to the 3 steps to create, to convert this skincare routine in a skincare ritual, okay? The first step is to anticipate, to have the kid, this is my ritual moment. This is the products that I'm going to use. If you still have not decided which skincare routine to choose for your teenager or your tween, I will leave you some previous posts behind, and then you can choose right. If you are, especially if you are oriented to natural skincare. But that is the first thing. Anticipate, have the products there. In anticipation is always intent. Everything we do, we should put an intention on that. So ask your kid to make an intention for that time. The intention of this time is to be with me for just some minutes, and I will feel great. I will feel happy. Choose this affirmation. I will leave you as well this affirmation, these mantras. I'm going to leave you there 20 mantras that you can use. You just need to cut them and to put them in a jar, and you are going to ask him or her to breathe. Take 3 deep breaths and choose one mantra. That is anticipate, is to prepare for the ritual. This creates a huge difference between a routine and a ritual. The second is to feel, okay? Is to repeat. Once they chose this mantra, they repeat it while they are performing their routine. For example, let's suppose that the mantra is, I love myself so much. So they start cleaning, I love myself so much. I love myself so much. And they start repeating. The power of that affirmations have in our brain is incredible, but because they start rewiring those affirmations and they create these emotions. And that is why breathing first is so important, and preparing and intending that ritual is so important, because it elevates their emotions and they associate this positive emotion with this mantra they are repeating. So it creates a positive circle that creates endorphins in their brain. And the third one, once they finish, the third steps is to thank. To thank is one of the most positive emotion. To be grateful is one of the most positive emotions. So what is going to happen here? The first thing is that your teenager is gonna laugh of you on you when you bring this ritual to them. Okay, they're you're crazy, mom, you know. But force them the first time. Okay, what is going to happen? Our body is the best way to know what is good or bad for us. When we perform good activities that are good for our body or for emotions, our body instinctively is going to release endorphins, okay? They don't have to do nothing. They just have to feel good doing it, even if they are joking at the beginning. So they are probably not going to tell you, okay, mom, I kind of like it. They are probably do it behind you, and they are not going to recognize that they like it. But believe me, they'll like it. Okay, because their body automatically will release these happiness hormones without they noticing. So they are going to feel it. So please do it. Believe me, I have tried this so much. This is the concept, the whole concept of Tweengreens, which is the brand we are creating for tweens and teens. And believe me when I tell you, it will work. You won't see the difference like from one day to another. Yes, of course not. But is to giving this seed, to creating this, giving these tools that help them create elevated emotions, and therefore to feel confident with themselves, and help them to be connected between their body and their mind. Then they don't have to give them their power to a third party entity. So this is what I wanted to tell you today. Thank you for being here. Remember, below 2 blogs, one about cleansing for young skin, and the other one is for hydrating young skin, and the third one is a present that I have for you, which are 20 mantras. I will do another video where I put these mantras in a jar, and you just need to put that jar in their bathroom, and they just need to breathe, and they need to take this mantra out, okay? And that's it. And repeat that mantra while they are cleansing. It's not that huge work, but it's going to have a huge change. So remember to give like to this video, to share it with some other moms that maybe they have teenagers or tweens, and this is something that you consider they would find important, and subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Thank you, and see you again next week. Bye.